आज VC सर का एक NHRD में भाषण है, ठीक है, NHRD बैंगलोर चैप्टर में बॉश हैव इनवाइटेड to speak on collaboration. So 7 बजे से. So मतलब Dr. Goel and Bosch will be doing, and they have invited as a university VC sir also because we are collaborating.
मैंने कुछ मेल आया है सर, हुई है क्या? अटेंड किया है? 4 बजे का मेल आया है सर।
वो आप लोग का अलग मेल होगा, हेड ऑफिस वाला कुछ होगा।
अच्छा ही मैच।
वो तो स्टूडेंट इंफॉर्मेशन मैनेजमेंट सिस्टम। इसमें तो they are using some other softwares which we are experimenting.
सुदीप्तो सर लाइव कर दिए हैं। सुदीप्तो सर लाइव कर दिए हैं।
हाँ ठीक है, रिकॉर्डिंग ऑन कर दे रहा है सर।
हाँ कर दीजिए सर।
ठीक है,
अब मशीन में कीजिएगा रिकॉर्डिंग।
हाँ मशीन में।
ठीक है सर, सो दैट कि एडिटिंग करने का जरूरत नहीं पड़ेगा।
हाँ अच्छा, ये मशीन में ही हो रहा है ना? हाँ मशीन में ही हो रहा है, और कहाँ होगा। ठीक है, डन। सितंबर है ना आज, ठीक है ना? देखिए कुछ गलती नहीं है स्क्रीन में। अनिरुद्ध भौमिक स्पेलिंग ठीक है।
हिंदू कैसा धर्म
नहीं। अनिरुद्ध, ऑल द बेस्ट।
थैंक यू दादा। Bhowmick sir.
Very good morning.
Sir, good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
गुड मॉर्निंग सर।
Good morning to you. So good morning, Aniruddha Bhowmick.
Yes, sir.
Very good morning. Wish you all the best. You have done a great job, and wish you all the best.
Thank you, sir. Sir, it was not possible without the points we have picked up during the time. Sir, I remember.
Sometimes we go through a difficult road, but
Yes,
if you are to reach the destination and reach the proper destination, sometimes
Yes,
those things are important. There's no
sir.
doubt.
Oh, sir, that's why I have written you the mail. The medicine tastes bitter, but it's good for health.
And it is very appropriate considering that
Yes.
you are in the same field. Same field, I think.
Exactly, sir.
So I think
Exactly.
Nine.
Sir, Manoj sir has joined, sir.
Okay. So now I think, what about Dr. S.K. Dubey? So he's also joining. Dr. Manoj Mishra, namaskar ji.
Namaskar, sir. A very good morning to all of you.
Yeah, very good morning, sir. So, आपका तबीयत ठीक है, sir?
हाँ, अभी बेहतर है.
Yeah. So, you have gone down, sir.
Yes, I have reduced.
No,
but it is for the better.
बहुत महीने के बाद मैं आपको देख रहा हूँ. Otherwise I was seeing you only in WhatsApp, you know.
Yeah, virtually.
Virtually,
But
you know.
this is also virtual, but at least we can see the images.
So, Dr. Pinaki Bhattacharya ji, very namaskar, sir. Very good morning to you. Very good morning. Yeah. So we have one more external examiner, that is Dr.
Yes.
S.K. Dubey, professor, and he's the head of the Institute of Management from the BHU Varanasi. So no, he's the,
joining now.
he is the director, and what on to that. Yeah. So, I got it, sir. So, Dr. Dubey sahab, you know, very good morning to you. Hello. I think अभी भी कनेक्ट कर रहे हैं लगता है.
कनेक्ट तो हुआ है शायद कुछ.
Sir, no, actually I was reminding him, so he was talking to me, so he is joining.
Fine.
I think
So
sir.
he has got a class, you know. In fact, he has got a class up to something like 11:15 or so. इसी की वजह से, sir, very namaskar, sir.
Namaskar, sir.
Kumar Dubey ji, namaskar.
Namaskar, sir. After a long time, I am seeing you.
Thank you very much, sir.
How are you, sir? How are you?
Very well, sir. ठीक तो चल रहा है, sir.
Okay.
चल रहा है, I think, you know.
बहुत अच्छा लग रहा है आपको देख.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. So,
can we start, sir?
Yeah, we can sort of start. My hearty welcome to all of you to today's PhD Viva Voce of our PhD scholar, Mr. Aniruddha Bhowmick. And today we have got with us, you know, Mr. Aniruddha Bhowmick, and his PhD supervisor is, you know, Dr. Mriduli Shah, and the co-supervisor is Dr. Pinaki Ranjan Bhattacharya. And Mr. Aniruddha Bhowmick and Dr. Pinaki Ranjan Bhattacharya, both of them are joining from Kolkata. And today our external examiners are Professor Sujit Kumar Dubey, the Director Institute of Management, that is BHU Varanasi. And then we have got, you know, Dr. Manoj Mishra, the Associate Professor from the Chanakya School of, you know, Chanakya Law University from Patna. And we also have with us our distinguished professors with us, you know, Dr. Satyendra Kishore, Dr. Hariharan, and also our faculty members, that is Dr. Bhagwat Barik, our assistant dean, and, you know, maybe our other faculty members. And what we have done was, you know, in the true sense of the PhD open Viva Voce, today open means, you know, it is open to the sky. That means open to the Ethernet and open to the internet. Today that is open. So this being the case, what we have done was, you know, while we are conducting through this video conferencing platform, apart from this, we have lots of our scholars and lot of our own people that are joining through YouTube Live. Because what we thought is sometimes, you know, maybe as far as a select few of our faculty members, definitely they are through Zoom. They can participate, they can ask questions. And as far as our other scholars and other people that are joining through the YouTube Live, sort of what they will do is through chat mode, you know, they will send across any kind of a queries, and those things, you know, one of us, you know, will, you know, take it with the scholar. So, with these few words, my hearty welcome to all of you today again. And yeah, in fact, you know, Professor Arvind Kumar, you know, in fact, you know, he is our registrar in charge. Then we got Dr. Sweta Singh. Dr. Sweta Singh, incidentally, Dr. Dubey Saab,
हाँ sir.
she's from BHU Varanasi.
Yeah,
She has
I know.
done a
I know
PhD.
her. I know her.
Yeah. So in fact, we have a good number of our faculty members, who are all the alumni of BHU Varanasi.
We are really thankful. We are really thankful to you.
So we have got Dr. Manish with us, Vishal,
Yeah.
a number of them. And we have got a very close association with BHU Varanasi. And
I am also from BHU.
yeah.
it's very good.
Yeah, in fact, how can I forget? Our registrar is from BHU, but he has come from, you are from the engineering stream. He is
Okay.
a BTech and MTech, from both from BHU Varanasi. Not only that, we have got Dr. Hariharan. He is also an alumnus of BHU Varanasi.
Okay, it's very good.
Today's meeting, I think, the majority of the members are from BHU Varanasi.
From BHU.
Yeah. So that is one single institution, we respect that institution, and it has done, a lot of good to the entire, India and to the society as a whole, from the pre-independence time until now into that, we really kind of appreciate that. In fact, as a matter of fact, Professor Dr. Rajkumar, has been, in fact, has been associated with our university for a long, long time.
Yeah.
Though he has gone on deputation to University, the Vice Chancellor.
Yeah.
He's in continuous contact with us, and he's on our academic council, and and he was also an external examiner in the initial days, for one of our scholars.
It's very good. Your blessings will be there, so we will continue
Not
the
at
same
all,
relationship.
not at all, sir. Not at all, sir. So then, in fact, similarly, I think Dr. Ashish Bajpai is also closely connected.
Yeah.
With then Ashutosh, is it Ashutosh Mishra?
Ashutosh Mohan.
Ashutosh Mohan is in touch with us. And we have a lot of, your kind of faculty members from IIM, we have been very kind of, closely associated. We are so fortunate to have such a close association with BHU. Sort of the same is the case with Chanakya Law University. Chanakya Law University also, in fact, Dr. Manoj Mishra, he has been associated with us for a long, long time. And he worked with our ICFI group for some time. And then after that, he has worked in various capacities in various places. And we have a long-term association with him. And the previous Vice Chancellor of the Chanakya Law University, he's also our well-wisher. And, we had very close association with him into that. Okay. Now, of course, the new Vice Chancellor, maybe it's a lady, she has joined, we don't have that much of a contact with her. So with these few words, we'll just start with the presentation. So typically what we have been doing is we are requesting our the PhD scholar to give presentation for about 45 minutes, and then gist of like what sort of what is his contribution in this, and then after that the first the major right of kind of the choice of this thing is for the both the external examiners to kind of examine him and kind of evaluate him. Then after that the floor is open to sort of others. Then after that we would like to have the comments from the supervisor and the co-supervisor. Then after that the floor is the forum is open for all others. In fact, I'll be failing in my duty if I don't mention Dr. Rumna Bhattacharya. Sort of she has done pioneering work building up our PhD program and from the scratch. And similarly Dr. Rajkumar is there, and a lot of our other faculty members are also there that are there. So typically whenever, as far as our PhD program is concerned, while of course sort of a lot of good things are there, one good feature of our program is the conduct of the program. It is done. The entire university takes the responsibility. It's not that it is between only the scholar and the supervisor, which is the case with most of the universities. I'm not saying it happens everywhere. Most of the universities.
It is just because of your leadership.
I don't know, sir. In fact, no. In fact, I think you are sort of putting too much of this thing on my this thing. I'm just a small instrument, trying to facilitate. All the credit goes to all of our dedicated faculty members and also our senior professors like Dr. Kishore and Dr. Hariharan. So typically, what we do is we believe that it's a team venture, and ultimately, what we want to do is the quality of the PhD has to be good. because the journey is how we do that. Ultimately, what matters is what comes out of that. So there, on one aspect, we focus on the methodology, on how it is done. No doubt that is very critical for a PhD program. The second thing which we believe is a lot more critical is, because what we believe is, if somebody has spent 4 years or 5 years, we take it for granted that they follow the processes. It has to be the diligence of the process is very critical, the research methodology. The second thing, what we look for as a university is, what is that new knowledge that, the scholar is bringing onto the table, so that the posterity will look at, not only the processes, typically the processes for doing the PhD for, in the social sciences, that is very well laid out. They have to conform to that, they have to comply with that. That is something critical. The second aspect is, the contribution of this PhD to the kind of in the domain, to the kind of a knowledge of management, what is new that is coming out of that. That is where, all of us, we put in a lot of efforts. And in this process, let me also sort of share with you that, no doubt, our PhD scholars, sort of they have to go through some kind of, diligence into that, diligence, and ultimately it is up to them to kind of demonstrate, what is the new value add that they brought onto the table. There, on one hand, like in fact, yes, we point out these are the things. At the same time, the entire team is there to help the scholar. It's not that they kind of, we criticize and leave it like that. It's not that. It is a constructive criticism on how to make the things better. Second is the entire team and all the resources they rally behind to see that how that is done under the kind of, existing, circumstances or the whatever constraints and challenges that are faced to do that. I think that is something I want to bring onto the table. Sort of that is where, as a team, I think we have brought together the entire thing to bring to this level into that. So now over to Mr. Aniruddha Bhowmick. So please go ahead.
Good morning, all the respected faculty members. I'm lucky enough that today I'm virtually in front of all stars, because all the profile that Rao sir has told, Professor Rao has told, that I'm really lucky that I'm sitting in front of all the stars who are either from the BHU or other from the top shot universities. Sir, today I'm going to present my Viva voice, and first of all, I will go through my title, and then I will go through the chapterization, and initially I will come to the introduction, research methodology, and findings, conclusions, and after that, I'm open to face any questions from our external faculties, as well as our internal faculties and all the participants who are there. Thank you. I'm very thanks to the university, and thanks to Professor Rao, my guide, my supervisor, and all the faculty members of the university who have helped me to reach this milestone, at least what I have achieved and what I have learned from them. Thanks to all of you. Sir, my title of the thesis is the
just a minute. My request to our host is to mute all the participants so as to avoid, the background noise. It is likely that some are participating from home and, or maybe somewhere else. I think, that is my request. And so that, anybody that wants to ask questions, after that, they can unmute themselves.
Thank you, sir. The title of the thesis is The Factors Influencing the Consumer Preference for Over-the-Counter OTC Allopathic Medicine. The first, I will go through these following chapters. That is, first chapter, which is introduction. In the introduction, I will cover the 5 points. That is the scope of the study, motivation for the study, in brief discussion about the OTC medicine market Indian scenario, and OTC allopathic analgesic topical medicine under Indian scenario. The next, I will go through the review of the literature, the summary and the research gap, which I have learned. The third, the most important part, that is the research methodology. In the research methodology, I will go through the research design, problem statement, objectives, hypothesis, sample size, and reliability analysis. The fourth chapter, that is the data analysis and the findings. And the last one, I will go through the result, discussion, and conclusion. In this flow, I will try to maintain to finish my this presentation. The first is I will start with the introduction part. Sir, before going to the introduction, I just want to inform you that every research has some scope, and the scope of the study is considered for the research for the particularly OTC allopathic analgesic medicine, and the area of the study is confined in the Hooghly district of Kolkata, that is in West Bengal. Now, coming for the motivation of the study. Under the motivation of the study, sir, before going to the discussion, I just want to tell a few lines about myself. That I'm associated with the pharmaceutical industry for the last 12 years. And during this long tenure of this 12 years, I have moved for my job in the various parts of the country. Particularly in the northeast part, in Assam, I have spent almost 4 years in Assam, and I've worked in the various interior districts like Dibrugarh, Nagaon, which is very near to Kaziranga. I have worked in Dimapur and interior parts of West Bengal and some parts of Orissa during this tenure. Sir, during this tenure, what I saw that most of the rural areas of India and some of the urban areas also, people don't have the basic healthcare facilities. Forget about the private healthcare facilities, they don't have even the government basic healthcare facilities. So in those areas, whenever human beings are there, there will be the diseases and all these things. But there is neither any rural doctors nor any basic healthcare facilities. So the people used to go to the kirana shops, local kirana shops, to purchase the medicines. That is the OTC medicines, to get rid of the common ailment. The things which shook me during my pre-thesis, the pre-PhD days, that what made these people to go to the shops and purchase the medicines? Because is their belief. They believe if they go to these shops and purchase some medicines and they will get cured of the diseases. So these things shook me, that what motivates a person, what motivates a consumer to purchase a medicine from a particular shop or for a particular brand. And this helps me, no, I will have to learn something. I have to go in the deeper part, that what motivates the consumer to purchase the OTC allopathic medicine. Now, sir, if I come to the present scenario, the present population of our country is 1.3 billion. And the growth rate is 1.2% as per the census data is concerned. Now, if the population of the country grow as 1.2% in each year, by the end of the 2030, the country will reach the 150 million population. And out of this total population, India contributes 16.5% of the diseases. I'm considering only this communicable disease or the disease that can be cured by the minimum medication and ailment. This has been, the data has been released, I have gathered this data from Indian Medical Association journal. Now, sir, another important point, as per the Indian Medical Association journal is concerned, most of the patients in our country, if they go to the government setup for the checkups, they have to wait for nearly 3 hours. And for the private setup, they have to wait for 45 minutes. Moreover, for every 100 population, every 100 people in India, there are only 7 hospital beds which is available in our country. And India contributes the 5th of the world's share of the disease that can be eradicated by the minimum medical care. Sir, there are certain other things that we have to look into. That is, the 60% of our population lives in the villages, that means they're the rural population, and the 40% of the population lives in the urban areas. And out of this 60% of the population, which I have already shown in the graph, the 65% of the population, they don't have any access to the medicine. They don't have any access to the medicine. Now, here comes the OTC allopathic analgesic medicine, OTC allopathic medicines. Now, in our country, we living in our country where there are some loopholes in our legal system. Okay, there is no set of guidelines. There is no set of guidelines that which category of medicine you can consider as the over-the-counter medicine. Recently, in the year of 2018, the Drug Regulatory Control has declared that those medicines which are not under the schedule of Schedule H and Schedule G, and the medicines or the drugs which are not prescribed by a medical practitioner will come under the OTC allopathic medicine. In the rest of the world, if we consider about the European countries, if we consider about America, they have the certain guidelines that which medicine should be considered as OTC medicines and which medicines are not considered to be the OTC medicine. So in our India, the Indian Pharmaceutical Association, which is one of the supreme body which regulates the drugs after the Drug Regulatory Committee, they have considered that those medicines which are not prescribed by the medical practitioners and those medicines which does not have any side effects, only those medicines can come under the schedule of the OTC medicine. Next comes to the Indian scenario. In India, we are blessed that in spite there is no set of written rules and guidelines for the last almost 50 to 60 years, but still the Indian market is ranging about $188 billion. Sorry, it's 188 billion rupees, and is expected to grow at the 9.2%. And by the end of the 2024, the country will reach the business of about the 441 billion rupees in the terms of OTC medicine. Only the 35% of the population has the access to these allopathic drugs. The rest of the population, they have to trust on these OTC medicines to get cure of their minor ailments. Moreover, sir, the things we have to consider, the scenario is changing in a very faster rate. In our older days, and sir, you will, I think you all will align with me, during previous days, the people used to, okay, we have some pain, we have some cough and cold, we used to go through the homemade remedies. But now with the personal lifestyle and the less amount of the time, the people want a faster response. With these things in mind, when the people want the faster response, they want the medicine which gives them the response very fast. And the people don't have any time to go to the doctors, to spend a lot of time, to spend the amount of money in the to get rid of the minor ailments. Moreover, the people are much more concerned. All the people of our country are much more concerned about the basic healthcare facilities, what we had in the past. This motivates the consumer to move towards the OTC medicine. Another thing, sir, as per the Indian Pharmaceutical Associations, they have some guidelines also. Sir, all of us have watched the certain medicines have been advertised in the TV or in the various types of media, like print media, in like newspapers, various journals and televisions, and even on the radios also. As per the Indian Medical Association and Indian Pharmaceutical Association, that those medicines which are advertised are to be considered as a OTC medicine because the advertiser or the marketers must be specified about the components. They must be specified about what are the ingredients which are safe to the patients who are using, and the patients should be well aware about the disease area for which they are consuming the medicines. So there are certain rules and regulation do's and don'ts for this OTC medicine. Even the pharmacist has been provided with some guidelines. In the next slide, as per the Central Drug Standard Control Organization and Indian Pharmaceutical Association, the OTC medicines can be categorized in the three categories. Number one, the OTC medicines as per the availability, OTC medicine for the different therapeutic areas, OTC medicines as per the route of the administration. Now we're coming to the first part. What is the medicine as per the availability? There are certain medicines which are sold through general stores or outlets other than the pharmacies. For example, Dettol, Savlon, Band-Aid. These medicines, these medicines you can get from any stores or kirana shops. But certain OTC medicines which are to be sold only through the pharmacies. For example, Disprin, aspirin, paracetamol, uh, Volini, Move. There are whole lot of medicines which are to be sold only through the pharmacies. Sir, but in our Indian scenario, is little bit different because in India, even you can go to the any pharmaceutical shops and purchase the high graded antibiotic like meropenem also. But sir, please, we are not considering those things because this is not the set of guidelines which is told by the as per the Indian Pharmaceutical Associations. Next, the OTC medicines for the different therapeutic areas. In the different therapeutic areas, we have the four prominent therapeutic areas. One is the allopathic, which is a very burning trends nowadays. Next comes the Ayurvedic, Unani, and homeopathy. I'm giving just few examples. In the allopathic segments, we can find the medicines like Move. We can find the Volini. We can find the Nasovian for the nasal spray. We can find the Barnol. So all this comes under allopathic. Now, if we give some examples, the Ayurvedic, for example, Putinhara, which is a very famous Ayurvedic brand for the digestive purpose, which is also an OTC medicine. In the Unani also, there are some medicines which are not so advertised, but there are some medicines in the Unani segments also. And last of all, it comes to the homeopathy. For example, Coca 60, which is very popular among the homeopathic segments, which comes under the OTC medicines. The last category, sir, the categories of as per the route of the administration, such as like the oral medicines, topical medicines, and parental medicines. The oral medicines, that is from the syrup or the tablets, the topical, just like the cream and all these things. And parentals, there are few injections and like this, but we are not considering that, which is mainly used by the players for this for the injuries what they face in the field. Now, we have filtered down our study from OTC allopathic medicines to analgesic topical OTC allopathic medicine. Now, sir, before going in details, I have to make a small discussion about this allopathic analgesic topical medicine segments. Now, these segments has been categorized into three parts because our research has been deeply penetrated on this part. Analgesic consists of three parts. One is the paracetamol, that is acetaminophen, and number two is the NSAID, that is non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs, and opioids. Opioids belongs to the morphine group of medicine. Now, sir, if we consider this paracetamol, which is or acetaminophen, which is one of the burning trends, or which is we can say which is one of the most selling analgesic medicine in Indian scenario and also throughout the world. And for example, you can take the example of Volini, which is one of the best example, has a very known brand. You can take the example of the Move. You can these are very known brands. You can take the example of Volini. Coming to the NSID, under the NSID, we can take the example of the Nice Gel. This is a very known common brand under the Dr. Reddy's Laboratories, one of the was a premium Indian company. And under the opioids, there are the several other morphines. We are not going in details of opioid. Now, why we are interested in this segment? The question may arise. So the thing is that if we look at the sales growth, or if you look at the market capitalization of this segment, that by the year of 2020, it was estimated this OTC segment will touch 38.38 million rupees only for this analgesic topical allopathic medicine. And the market is expected to grow at 10.1%. Such data has been pre-COVID data. In the global comparison, most revenue is generated in the United States, almost $23,000 in 2009. So by looking at this, we can find there's a huge opportunity, or we can say there's a huge sell, or there's a huge demand of this medicine. Now, this motivates us that what is the reason that the consumers are purchasing these medicines, or what is the reason the consumers are purchasing the brands, and what motivates the consumer to purchase this medicine. For this, we have gone through a good number of literature review. Sir, I have gone through almost...
Aniruddha, what I suggest, it's
Sir.
better directly go for a research methodology with the research gap and skip your literature review.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
If every esteemed member permits the same. Okay?
Okay, sir. So can I forward, sir?
No, I agree with you because, I think the research scholar needs to appreciate on how to manage the time. Because I was also not sort of, responding because, when 45 minutes is given, the 45 minutes, the focus must be on what you have done and what are the findings and analysis of that, So I think, that is something we leave it to your judicious management of time. Otherwise, every one of us have got, the other things to do, and, every one of us has budgeted some time for this entire evaluation. I think after that, we leave it to you, Mr. Bhowmick.
You can safely move on to the research part.
Yeah, because, unless you do that, if you spend half an hour, in talking on the introduction, then you are not left with much time to discuss, what you have done. I think, that's a matter of the time management. So anyway, we leave it to you. I didn't want to stop in between because, it is a norm. What we said, 45 minutes when we give you, we leave it to you as to how you manage that 45 minutes. You are supervisor, post-supervisor. I think you should have thought through on how to manage that time. Because out of 55 slides, if you have covered, not even, 1/3 of that, 1/4 of that, then you got a problem on hand, isn't it? Anyway, I leave it to you. I didn't want to sort of, intervene so much.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. So thank you for your suggestions. I will follow the same. Respected jury members, I'm skipping this literature review part. I'm just directly going to.
And also, Mr. Bhowmick, the other thing is, I noticed that the font size is small for a number of your slides, and if the purpose is to communicate to them, maybe you got to enlarge them or make them visible. So some of the slides are very congested. Lots of content is there, So that's another thing. Please keep in mind.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Sir, after going through the literature review, I have done almost 164 literature reviews. This is all documented. Apart from this, there are n number of literature reviews I have done. The research gap which I have identified that the majority of the studies have been done with regards to the efficacy, generic medicine, consumer awareness of the prescribed medicines, very less about the OTC medicines. Number two, the limited studies have been done on the consumer behavior for the allopathic over-the-counter medicine for the analgesic segments. The third point, the results and the finding of the global studies will depend from the Indian scenario because our Indian socio-economic structure and the cultural structure is different from the other countries or from the other nations. There are limited theoretical approaches for testing any of the consumer behavior model in the existing studies with the Indian allopathic OTC medicines. And the last point which we have identified that the marketing approach of OTC allopathic topical medicine is completely different from the general medicine under the Indian context because under the general medicines, we cannot do the advertisement and all those things. So which was done in the case of OTC medicine. So these are the basic research gap which I've identified from going to the literature review. Coming to the next slide, that is the theories on the basis of which my entire thesis is standing. That is, one is the theory of result action and another theory of planned behavior. So these are the very famous, and these theories have been widely applicable in the various segments. So on the basis of the merits of the successful outcome or the basis of the merits of these theories have been helped to derive this outcome, we have introduced the theory of result action, theory of planned behavior. This theory of result action, which is developed by the Asgen was based on the two things. One is the attitude and another subjective norms. And whether the attitude is based upon the behavioral belief and the behavioral outcome, evaluations of the behavioral outcome. Similarly comes the subjective norms. The subjective norms is based on the normative belief. That means the influence by the family, friends, doctors, chemists, etc., which comes under the normative belief, and the motivation to comply. That is how a consumer is motivated by the suggestions that he received from this influencer. That comes under subjective norms. So these attitude and the subjective norms will have the intention to perform the behavior, and that ultimately leads to the behavior. So this comes the theory of present action. Now, sir, there is some loopholes, or we can say there is some shortfalls in the theory of present action. Even if the consumer have the positive attitude, or even if there is a positive subjective norms, but if the consumer don't have the requisite amount of resources, he cannot perform the behavior. Here comes the perceived behavioral control, which was developed, which just comes under the theory of planned behavior, and it was developed by Asgen and Fisbel. In the perceived behavioral control, we have the two things. One is the control belief and perceived power. As far the literature review is concerned, this perceived behavioral control is mainly categorized into availability, accessibility, and affordability. Along with, we have considered the branding and promotions. Sir, this is the conceptual framework which we have developed on the basis of the theory of present action and theory of planned behavior. Sir, in this, the personal attitude, which is influenced by the outcome belief and outcome evaluation. In the outcome belief, we have considered the safety profile of the medicine, the time-tested result, the previous successful result of this medicine, and the efficacy of the molecule. Similarly, under the outcome evaluations, the factors like the faster relief, useful for curing the minor ailments, and the better results, which comes under the outcome evaluations. This has been determined on the basis of the secondary research. Similarly, under the normative belief, we had the expert opinion influence like doctors, pharmacists, paramedics, social influence like family, friends, relatives, etc. And in the motivation to comply, we have how motivated a consumer is with the message he received from the normative belief. And the last part, which is the most important, that is the perceived behavioral control, which is the market-dominated stimuli, because it is dominated by the marketers itself. We have considered the availability of the product, the accessibility, affordability, and branding. So these three things, that the personal attitude, subjective norms, and perceived behavioral control, which influence the behavioral intention, and if this behavioral intention ultimately leads to determine the consumer behavior. As we know, the positive personal attitude may lead to the positive behavioral intention, and a positive behavioral intention may lead to the positive behavior. The same thing will may be considered for the case of the subjective norms and perceived behavioral control. So we will see that among these three things, there's a personal attitude, subjective norms, or PBC, which has influenced our study to help the consumer to take the consumer decision-making process. Coming to the research methodology part, the research design, sir, is a descriptive study, and we have done the quantitative analysis, the quantitative research. The type of data, all the data, the primary data has been collected, and the survey has been done in the physical form. Sir, I have personally collected the data from the respondents, and the method of administration of the question is personal. And so we have used the Likert scale, the sampling design, that's the target population and the sampling units. Sir, we have considered all the consumers of Hooghly districts who are above the age of 18 and who had the minimum education qualification of 12 standard and above, because until and unless the consumer have the minimum education qualification, we cannot make them understand or the difference between what is the OTC medicine and the normal medicine. The sampling techniques which has been used, that is stratified random sampling, because we have considered both the rural and the urban segments of the Hooghly district. And on the sample size determination, I will come with the discussion. And the data analysis tools, that we have used the SPSS for the data analysis tool. comes a research problem statement. The 3 problem statements have been identified. Number 1 is the demand of the OTC allopathic topical medicine is due to the consumer attitude. Number 2 is the social influence of the consumer buying behavior towards the OTC allopathic medicine influencing the consumer to do that. And number 3, does the marketers plays a role in influencing the consumer buying behavior towards the OTC allopathic analgesic medicine? Coming to the objective of the study, on the basis of the secondary research, the objective has been framed. Sir, our objective have been very specified into the four objectives. We are very specified regarding the objective. Number 1, to evaluate the role of the demographic factors in the consumer buying decision. Number 2, to assess the impact of attitude on the consumer buying decision process. And number 3, to analyze the impact of the social factors on the consumer buying decision making process. And the 4th, to evaluate the influence of the marketers on the consumer buying decision with regards to OTC allopathic analgesic medicines. Coming to the hypothesis. This hypothesis has been linked up with the objectives. We have the 10 hypotheses, which is completely been linked up with the objectives. The first hypothesis, the demography has an influence on the intention of the consumer to purchase the OTC allopathic analgesic topical medicines. Hypothesis number 1. The second hypothesis of our study, the consumer expectation of favorable outcome belief of the OTC allopathic analgesic medicine has a relationship with the personal attitude. The third hypothesis, the favorable outcome evaluation of the OTC allopathic analgesic medicine has the influence on the personal attitude. The fourth, whether the attitude has an influence on the intention of the consumer to purchase the medicine. The fifth is a stronger normative belief leads to higher intention of the consumer to purchase, and this is that the stronger motivation to comply of the OTC analgesic medicines leads to higher intention of the purchase, and higher perceived behavioral control leads to the significant impact on the intention to purchase. The eighth hypothesis, whether the PBC, or we can say as a perceived behavioral control, is more dominant than attitude and the subjective norms, and among the PBC, whether the availability is more dominated factors than the other factors, and the last one, whether the purchase intention of the consumer is determined by the loyalty towards the brands of the OTC allopathic analgesic topical medicines. So on the basis of this hypothesis, we have proceeded our study. For the sampling plan, we have considered both the rural and urban population of the Hooghly district, which I have already discussed. The study has been done entirely on Hooghly district, which is very near to Kolkata. And this is only 20 kilometers from Kolkata. And for this, we have considered the 12 municipalities and 24 gram panchayats that we selected, of which we have considered the De Morgan table of for which the minimum sample size should be 384, and our final sample size was 441, which is more than which has been determined by De Morgan. Coming to the sample size from the urban areas, our final sample size was 176, and for the rural areas we have considered 265, and our total sample size was 441. So before proceeding for the final survey, we have done the pilot survey, and we also first we have done the focus group interview, and for the focus group interview, we have gathered the data which we should put to the questionnaires, or which points we should focus on the questionnaire to get the answer from our final respondents. So we have done the pilot survey, and on the pilot survey we have done the reliability analysis, where the value of the Creutzfeldt alpha was 0.813, which is obviously and higher than 0.7, which is considered to be very high. And there are 7 factors which has been considered. That is the outcome belief, outcome evaluations, normative belief, motivation to comply, accessibility, availability, and affordability. So you can see the reliability scores of all these parameters is higher than 0.7. So which you can come to the conclusion. This is quite satisfactory. We have got a very quite satisfactory result for that. Coming to the data analysis and findings, we have done the demographic analysis of the respondents, where the 61% of the respondents are the male and 39% of the respondents are the female. Regarding the household members, The 68% of the household members that live, they have the family size of 2 to 3. The 28% of the household members, they have the family size of 5 to 6, and 7% of the household members where they have this. It was so just a minute. This is more than 5 household members. Regarding the educational qualification, the majority of our respondents, there's 44% of the respondents are graduate, and the 34% of the respondents, they have the higher school degrees only, and 14% of the respondents, they have the postgraduate degree, and 8% have the other qualifications. Regarding the occupations, it has been found that 39% of the respondents, they are in service, 27% of respondents, they are related to agriculture, and this agriculture business. The few of the respondents are the students, housewife, and the retired persons. I'm not going in details regarding this data because as it clearly been shown in the graph. In the next, we are showing the age group. The majority of our age group belongs to 36 years to 50 years. That is, we have considered the most of our respondents are very mature enough, 51% of them. And this 27% of the respondents belong to the age group of 26 to 35. And only 11%, they are the very young, belongs to the age group of 18 to 25. And 11% who are more than 50 years and above, the age group. Regarding the income pattern, very few, that is only 2% of the respondents have this income of more than 1 lakhs, and majority, there's a 46% of the respondents, they have the income pattern of 10,000 to 25,000 of this monthly income, and 29% of the income is ranging from this less than 10,000, and only the 5% of the population, they have the income of 50,000 to 1 lakhs. Coming to the data analysis and discussion, sir, in the first hypothesis, which we have already been discussed, our first hypothesis, whether the demography has any influence on the intention of the consumer to purchase. Sir, in this, we have used the regression analysis method. And in the regression analysis, the level of significance was 0.02. And in this demography, as in the demography, we have considered the 5 factors, this 5 factors, that is the members of household, the age, the gender, the education qualification, the occupation, and income. Sir, out of these 5 factors, we have found that only the income has a significant influence on the purchase decision-making process. None of the item under the demography has any significant relationship with the frequency of the purchase. And the level of, only in the case of the income, the level of significance is 0.021, which is less than the p-value of 0.05. And the beta value of the income, which is negative, that is minus 0.119. This indicates the said predictor variable have the highest level of impact on the criteria variable. That is, if the income rises, the tendency of the consumer to purchase the OTC allopathic analgesic medicine is less. Coming to the explanatory factor analysis, in the explanatory factor, I'm just going through the specific data, which is the outcome. That is the KMO, our result is 0.689, which is the KMO, the normal KMO, which is accepted worldwide, that is from 0 to 1. Our value is 0.689. So it is considered to be the we have called the satisfactory result. And this for this outcome of this factor analysis of various variables. Under the outcome beliefs, there are 2 components which has been considered. For the outcome evaluations, there are 3. For the normative belief, we have found the 1 components, and for motivation comply, there's 1. The accessibility, there is 3 components, and similarly for the availability and the affordability, we have the 1 and 2. Now, the number of the variables under each component, sir, it has been clearly shown in the slide. I'm not just going. I'm not going through it. The most influencing factors, which under the each variable that is considered for these studies are, that is the purchase of OTC allopathic analgesic topical medicines is due to the previous successful result, which is one of the most important factors under the variables of the outcome belief. The second one, the feeling towards OTC allopathic analgesic medicines that motivates the consumer to purchase these medicines. This comes under the outcome belief. Similarly, the quick relief in curing the chronic health problems, complete relief in curing the chronic health problems, and no relief in curing the chronic health problem. These 3 components, which comes under the category of the outcome evaluation is the most influencing one. Similarly, under the normative belief, the idea of purchasing OTC analgesic allopathic medicine is supported by my friends, which is the most influencing factors under the variables of normative belief. Similar to the motivation to comply, the suggestion received from the relatives in regard to purchase the OTC medicines is the most influencing one. Similarly, the accessibility of OTC medicines is easily accessible within the 1 kilometer from the residence of purchase, which is prominent under the case of the accessibility and under the availability. Both the variables are equally important. Under the affordability of OTC medicine is completely under my control. Is one of the influencing factors under the variables of affordability. Coming to the second hypothesis, that is the relationship between the consumer expectation of the favorable outcome belief. Sir, here I am coming to the result directly. Sir, the regression analysis is significant, is statistically significant, and the p-value is 0.001, and that is between the outcome belief and attitude. This shows there lies a significant relationship between the outcome belief and attitude. This signifies the null hypothesis is rejected, and based on the above statistical result, the alternative hypothesis has been accepted. Coming to the hypothesis, third hypothesis, whether the favorable outcome evaluation of OTC allopathic medicines lead to the positive consumer attitude. Sir, here the statistical results show that this is statistically significant relationship exists between the attitude and the outcome evaluations, where the p-value is less than 0.001. That is, there's a significant relationship between these two factors, which signifies the consumer expectation of the favorable outcome evaluation with respect to OTC allopathic medicine has a positive relationship with the consumer attitude. This signifies that the null hypothesis is rejected, and based on the above statistical result, the alternative hypothesis has been accepted. Coming to the fourth hypothesis, where we have tried to find out the relationship between the attitude and the intention to purchase. Here also, we have found that the statistically significant positive correlationship that is exists, because the positive correlation is 0.432 and the p-value is less than 0.001, which shows that there is a positive relationship between these two factors, on the basis of which the null hypothesis we have rejected, and the statistical result shows the research hypothesis is accepted. In the hypothesis number 5, we try to find out whether the normative belief has any influence in the intention to purchase. Sir, the statistical result shows that there's a significant negative correlation, that is minus 0.214, though the p-value is less than 0.001. This signifies that though the null hypothesis is accepted and the research alternative hypothesis is rejected, but there's a negative relationship between both of them. Now, the sixth hypothesis is the stronger motivation to comply. We want to test whether the motivation to comply has any relationship with the intention to purchase. Yes, sir, we have found there's a negligible correlation between these two factors. That means in overall, we can say that the normative belief has a very negligible influence on the consumer decision-making process for the OTC allopathic medicines. Coming to the seventh hypothesis, where we have tried to find out that whether the perceived behavioral control of the PVC has any influence on the intention, purchase intention. Yes, sir, we have found that the statistical significant correlationship exists between these two factors, that is PVC, perceived behavioral control, and the behavioral intention, for which the null hypothesis has been rejected and the alternative hypothesis has been accepted, sir. The eighth hypothesis, we want to find out that among these three things that we have, as we have already discussed in our model, that we have the attitude, we have the subjective norms, and we have the PVC, that's a perceived behavioral control. This among these three factors, which one has the most influence? Sir, this result which implies that PVC is more dominant than the attitude and the subjective norms in determining the behavioral intention. This signifies that the null hypothesis is rejected, and based on the above statistical result, the alternative hypothesis has been accepted. In the ninth hypothesis, that whether the availability is a more dominant factors than any other factors under the perceived behavioral control. So here we have found, yes, the availability is one of the most dominant factors. among the three factors like accessibility, availability, and affordability, because the level of significance is 0.001, which has been accepted, and the p value is 0.861. Coming to the last one, we want to find out that whether the brand loyalty, that the last thing is the branding has an influence on the consumer decision making process. So we have found, yes, the branding, I'm not going to the detailed statistical discussion. Yes, sir, we have found the branding has a positive influence on the decision making process, though, which is very nominal or negligible. Now, after covering the hypothesis part, we have done the one step forward. We want to find that whether what is the difference between the leisure users and the frequent user on the basis of the independent variables, because there are certain parameters which are differentiating between the leisure users and users on the basis of this theory. That is, on the outcome belief, we have found there is no significant difference between the leisure users and the users. Similarly, in the case of the outcome evaluations, we have found the t-value. We have made the comparison of the t-value to understand the significant difference between the means of these two groups related to the certain features. So, for the case of the outcome evaluation, it was 0.035, and the point under the outcome evaluation is a temporary relief in curing my minor health problems. This is a significant point which is distinguishing between the users and the lesser users. Similarly, under the motivation to comply, suggestion received from the social media, these points which is differentiating between the lesser users and users. Similarly, under the normative belief, the purchasing OTC allopathic medicine is supported by the networks. These points which is differentiating between the users and lesser users, there is no significant difference in the case of the availability. So there is no point to be mentioned. Under the accessibility, OTC medicine, I can easily access them within the 1 kilometer from my residence of the shopping mall. So this is on this point, there's a significant difference between those two groups. Similarly, under the affordability, the higher cost of remedy with the prescribed allopathic medicines, this is significant. This point is significantly causing the difference between the users and the leisure users, because as a t-value is 3.081. Coming to the result discussion and conclusion, under the 5 variables under the demography, that is the age, gender, number of members in the household, education, qualification, occupation, these 5 variables, there is no significant relationship with the consumer behavior for purchase the OTC medicine. Only the income has a considerable level of impact. It's a very negligible impact, but also in the negative direction. That means if the income of the people rises, the people are less friends to purchase the OTC medicines, OTC allopathic analgesic medicines. Now, that is, with the rise of the income, people are less prone to purchase these medicines. It may be inferred that this variable is not applicable for asserting the frequency of purchase for the OTC medicine. In the next slide, sir, the consumer expectation of the favorable outcome belief with respect to OTC medicines has a positive relationship with the consumer attitude. That means we can come to the conclusion that the attitude has a positive influence on the purchase decision making process. Similarly, the outcome evaluation has a positive relationship, and there was a positive influence on the personal attitude to the intention to the purchase of the OTC medicines, and the normative belief has a negative influence. Motivation to comply also has a very nominal influence in the decision-making process. That means we can come to the conclusion that the subjective norms has a very nominal or negligible influence in the decision-making process. Under the PVC, yes, the PVC has a significant impact on the intention to purchase. PVC is much more dominant than the attitude and the subjective norms, because as we already found in our analysis, that the subjective norms has a very negligible and sometimes it's a negative influence also. Now, among the factors of the perceived behavioral control, availability is more dominant than the affordability and accessibility. And regarding the branding, which I forgot to mention, that branding also has an influence, but it is not so significant in the decision-making process. Now, every research is only successful. The research is only successful if we can give some additional contribution to the society, or we can give some additional contribution in the case of the management. Sir, from this research, we have found the 5 points which can give the contribution to the society or which can give some contribution to the management to think in a different way. So the first of all, the pharmaceutical company should access the ambivalence of the target consumer attitude, because as we found that the attitude plays a very significant role, because a positive attitude is only led towards the direction of a positive intention to purchase. So the company should focus on the target audience regarding the consumer attitude. Number two, to build this attitude, the companies have to focus to build the awareness and the interest, and sometimes they have to educate the consumers also regarding the OTC allopathic medicines. So the company who are involved in the marketing and promotion, they should take the elaborative step to make the consumer aware about the usage of the drugs, the indication, therapeutic wise. Even not only that, they have also to take the responsibility to make aware the consumers about the adverse effect of the misuse of the drugs, because it comes under the responsibility of the companies who are promoting. The third of all, the study shows that availability is one of the major factors which influence. Sir, in the beginning of my research, I have told you that I have worked in the remote areas of the Northeast, where I have found the way these OTC medicines are available, the penetration for which they are doing the business in thousands and crores, where the normal prescribed medicines, they are not available because there is no such retail medicine shops. So the availability is a significant factor which the organizations or which the management have to think about before starting the business of the OTC medicines. Now, the most important, the healthcare organizations who are providing the benefit for development of the program to promote the greater consumer awareness and the consumer purchase decision making process. They should educate the consumer. They should provide the information, proper information, appropriate information, and the role of the healthcare professionals like the pharmacists. We cannot overlook them, because it was the pharmacist who gave the basic informations, or we can say there's a first-hand information to the consumer. So this pharmacist also plays a very, very important role in our society for the decision-making process of the consumers. Lastly, sir, every research comes with the limitations. Sir, in our research also, there are certain limitations which I have highlighted, but apart from this, there may be the other limitations also which I have not highlighted. Sir, there are basic 4 limitations. Number 1, the research study is limited to the OTC allopathic analgesic topical medicines only. We have not considered the Unani, we have not considered the Ayurvedic, we have not considered the other segments. Number 1. Number 2, there are the possible limitations of the theory of planned behavior. Sir, although the theory of planned behavior and the theory of result action has been widely accepted throughout the world, but there are many limitations of this theory. So we cannot consider our result to be the 100% accurate or perfect. The number 3 points, that is the population size. We have considered the 441 samples population size, which may not be sufficient with respect to the current scenario. And the last of all, sir, the research was solely conducted in the Hooghly district of West Bengal. Sir, the result may not be same if it was conducted in the other districts or in the other parts of the country. So these are the 4 limitations which we have categorically identified, but there may be the other limitations also which we have missed. Last of all, coming to the acknowledgement part, I'm really thankful to the research board of the University, which was headed by our Chancellor, Sir, Dr. Waris. Sir, I'm really thankful to you because the way you have guided me, the way you have pinpoint each and every point. In the last Viva, this is the last presentation in the month of May. Sir, this helped me, this opened my eyes that there are certain areas which I have missed and certain areas we have to incorporate also. I'm really thankful to Dr. Professor Satyendra Fisher, Dr. Bhagwat Barik, Mr. Arvind Kumar for providing the constant guide and the motivation for my research. I'm thankful to Rumna ma'am, Rajkumar sir, Sudip Toda for your support, for your guidance throughout my journey of this 5 years. And any word will be less for my supervisor and my co-supervisor, Dr. Jha, Dr. Mitanis Jha, and Dr. Pinaki Ranjan Bhattacharya. They are not only as my guide, they are my, what I can say, as a mentor of my daily life. What to do and what not to do, how to develop each and every brick of the PhD. I cannot slap them without the support and help. And first of all, sir, the research was not possible without the blessing of my mother and the blessing of my Almighty. Thank you to all of you for your patience and for your guidance to reach me in this level. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, Mr. Aniruddha Bhowmick. In fact, though there was a little bit of slackness in the first part, you have covered the entire thing very nicely within a kind of a 1 hour time. So now I request our external examiners. So Dr. Manoj Mishra, we can maybe you can do the evaluation. Yeah.
Yes. First of all, let me congratulate you. You have done a very comprehensive and good work. And I would also like to congratulate the university. Through their structured system, they maintain a minimum level of excellence, which is nice to see. And I see it and appreciate it all the time. There are, of course, a few questions and a few things which I would like you to answer. The first is, you have used theory of planned behavior. Why have you done that, and why have you neglected the other models? Can you give me a reason?
Yes, sir. Sir, in the consumer behavior, during my earlier days in PhD, that is when I'm just inducted in this program, I was just beating around the bush that which theory to adopt, whether to adopt any theory or not. So I was really confused at the time. But after I gone through the number of literature reviews, at the time I understand what's the importance of this literature review. I found this this theory of result action and the theory of planned behavior. There's a very systematic approach. They have come from this first the learning theory, comes the attitude theory, next the decision making theory, and after that comes the theory of result action. Now, the theory of result action is not a comprehensive theory. Because this theory of result action, there are some loopholes. Because even if the consumers have the positive attitude, even if the consumer have the positive subjective norms, but if the consumer don't have the necessary available resources, or the consumer available resources, the consumer cannot purchase the goods, or the consumer, the intention to purchase will become diminished. And on the basis of which the theory of planned behavior was developed. This is one point, sir. Sir, why I have taken this theory of result action. And the second point, sir, all over the world, what I have found during my this research review, this review of the literature, almost there are 93 segments where this theory of result action and theory of planned behavior have been successfully implemented. And what I have found, sir, that in our Indian scenarios, in some cases, theory of result action and theory of planned behavior have been used. But this theory was not used in the case of the OTC medicine to check that whether this theory is successful to determine the consumer behavior. So I have taken it as a challenge that let's use this theory, let's use this framework to build our conceptual framework. That is the reason, sir, I have taken this.
Okay. Of course, since you were into research, you could have done an exploratory research to determine which model to use. That would have been more ideal. You have already used focus group. Maybe you could have done that with a group. Anyway, your reasons are perfect. Now, there are many other factors. I don't know, have you assumed them to be constant, or do you think those factors do not have an impact, like pricing, product quality, economic scenario, which now has become so very important, packaging, elasticity, income, availability of pharmacists and shop? Of course, availability you have done. And of course, so all these factors you should have taken it as a constant and somewhere mentioned it in your work. Is it not true?
Sir, thank you for highlighting this point. So the thing is that the theory in this, the framework that we have developed, we have considered, first of all, the attitude. First, we have considered the attitude. Now, in the case of the attitude, we have considered the two things. Sir. One is the behavioral belief. Number one is a behavioral belief, and number two is outcome belief. Similarly, in the case of the subjective norms, we have considered the two things. One is the normative belief and motivation to impact. Sir, under the normative belief, the pharmacist, sir, what you have told, or the retailers, they have the very good influence. Sir, we have considered that. Number two, sir, you have highlighted another point, there's a pricing. Yes, sir, the pricing is a very important point. Sir, we have considered the pricing issue in the case of PBC, that is, sir, affordability. Sir, I know that this product is good, this product has a very good effect, this product is available in front of my shop, in front of my house, but I don't have that affordability to purchase that products. So what is the use of it? For that reason, sir, I have categorically mentioned the affordability in the PVC parts. And this economic scenario, sir, every research has some limitations. Yes, sir. We haven't considered the economic scenario because even in the theory of reasoned action and planned behavior, Fishburne and Hassan has not considered the economic scenario. Moreover, the time when this data has been collected and the interpretation has been done, so it was the pre-COVID time, and the country's economic scenario was very good and stable. So we haven't considered the economic scenario during that time. Unfortunately, my presentation is during the time of the COVID.
Good. Professor S.K. Dubey, perhaps you would like to ask a few questions.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Mishra. Firstly, I'm thankful to Professor Roy for giving me this opportunity, and I must appreciate the way Mr. Aniruddha Bhowmick has presented his work, very nicely presented his work. Aniruddha, I'm having few suggestions, at the same time few queries, which will be also helpful for the PhD scholars who are watching or listening this Viva Voce examination. First thing, what I suggest that during your introduction part, you incorporated certain thing which is not there as a part and parcel of your work. So it's not something which is there as a storytelling sort of thing. It is something that you have to present what you have done. This is the first thing. Second, Professor Roy has already pointed out that your PPT font size was too small, and especially when you are going for the online presentation. It is my request to all the research scholars, please go for the big font size because it's difficult to visible. Now come to your work. In your fifth slide, you pointed out that 65% of the rural population has no access to the medicine. What is the source of this data? What is the source of this data?
Sir, it is from the Indian Pharmaceutical Association 2017.
Now, after 2017, and we are there into 2020, a drastic change is there, especially in the healthcare sector. So please check it once before going for your publication. It's better to check it whether it is still relevant or not. Second thing, during your presentation, you pointed out that you are having a 12 years of pharmaceutical industry experience. So, and you all know that because you are having an expertise in that very field, so you are very much clear that in what circumstances people used to go for the OTC medicines, especially the allopathic medicine. Yes, it's true that in some of the cases where the availability of the doctors are not there, people used to directly go to the counters and they buy the product. That is okay. But what are the what are the circumstances where the doctor's availability is there, even though people used to go for the OTC medicine? So what my suggestion is there that your objective which you have formulated, it seems to be very simple. It doesn't seems to be an objective for the PhD thesis. It can be right and relevant for the dissertation. Okay, so whenever you are framing and formulating the objective, it must have something critical in nature so that you are able to come out with the relevant finding, which you can say that I have unfolded this thing, I have revealed this thing as a research scholar. This is my second suggestion. The third thing which I would like to share with you, that for your study, you have taken care of only Hooghly district, which is there as one of the district of the West Bengal and very close to the Calcutta, as you have pointed out, and it is true also. Now, what is the reason why you have taken only Hooghly district? Because if you go for your background, you worked in Assam, you work in the different places, even in West Bengal, why you consider only Hooghly?
Sir, sir, during my professional career, I've worked in the various districts of West Bengal, Assam, and in Odisha also. But sir, basically, I'm a resident of Hooghly district. So due to the geographical convenience, and moreover, sir, I am also working in a company. I was working in a company. So it was very difficult to manage the time because I haven't used any online surveys or nothing like this. So I have physically presented in front of the respondents. I physically went in these rural areas as well as the urban areas. And sir, if you go to through my thesis, you can find that how I have segregated this urban rural segments and how I've approached these respondents. So it is just for the convenience of the geographical mapping, and moreover, it is near to Kolkata. Little bit transport facilities was also there. So that's the reason I have selected the Hooghly district.
See, it can be a right justification, but when you are pursuing, when you are doing your PhD work, your area or the scope should be very, very broader in terms of the coverage. In terms of respondents, it's okay, you can be specific. But when you are covering the different areas, then only you are able to get the different responses from the different people. Now, this is something which is again important, and especially for those who are pursuing their PhD program, that whenever they are deciding that they should at least go for 2, 3, 4 districts, and that too, either there should be a similarity or it should not be similar to each other, so that the difference will be there in that case. This is what I want to share. Next is, if you go through with your demographic profile which you have presented, it seems to be very standard one. Male 61%, 39% female. Then again, if you talk about the educational qualification, 34% people are having high school, then graduates are 44%, 14%. It doesn't reflect that a data of a district like Hooghly. So this is something which is a concern for me, that if it is the okay, if it is what you have done, then it's okay. Otherwise, but again, what I suggest that when you are going for publication of your thesis, please check it, that whether it is still relevant or it is appropriate in your case or not, because you have gone for the respondent, total number of respondent, that is the 441, I think so, as I remember. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, if you go, because Professor Mishra has already pointed out the model aspect, that why you have chosen that particular model. Regarding that, I would like to say that the source which you have pointed out, it's a website which you are showing in both the cases. Again, it is a very established model. You should have written the name of the person who has given the model and in which paper it is being published, in which year it has been published. That shows that you have taken something from the website only. So again, it is something which is being taken care by the research scholars who are pursuing their PhD program from your institution. Now, if you directly come to your research findings, you are having only 4 or 5 major findings which are there. And because your objectives are very general in nature, that's why your findings are also very general in nature. And on the basis of that, you had come out with the recommendation or the application part, which is again very generic in nature. Now, this is just a suggestion that in research, you have to be very, very specific that what you want to do, what you want to reveal, and that will be there as a part and parcel of your objective framing process. And on the basis of that objective framing, you will be revealing something that is in the form of the findings. And it should be, now take any of the findings which are there. It may be inferred that the variables are not apt for ascertaining the frequency of the purchase of OTC allopathic medicine. Okay, consumer expectations of favorable outcome belief with respect to the OTC allopathic and analgesic topical medicine cream has a positive relationship with the consumer attitude. Now, this you have already pointed out in your data analysis part. Are you getting my point?
Yes,
so
yes,
this you have already revealed. You have already written over there. Now, on the basis of that finding, you see there is a difference. People have to come out with the framework that data analysis is an important tool on the basis of which you are going to infer something. So drawing inferences is the main contribution of a research scholar. Are you getting my point?
yes, yes.
So your role starts that out of that data which you have analyzed, you have to infer, and that can be there as your concluding part. And on the basis of that inferences, you can come out with the recommendation. Are you getting? I'm sharing all this so that all those people who are watching and listening this program, this Viva Voce examination, they can correct themselves for the future. And there are few questions. Why you have used random stratified random sampling? You have written anywhere?
Yeah, it is there.
Yes.
Please.
First of all, I have selected this stratified random sampling because the Hooghly district comprises of both this urban population as well as the rural population. So I have made this stratification because a probability sampling technique, we have taken the two-step process to the partition of the population in the subpopulation of the data. And the elements selected from the each stratum should have a random positive. But that is why I have taken the stratified random sampling process.
Okay. What was the reason for going for the respondent between the age group of 18 to what exactly it is?
18 years and above.
18 and above. So what was the reason?
So the reason was that we have considered that 18 years and as per our any person, either male or female above the age of 18, we used to consider as an adult, and they have their own decision making.
So it means Aniruddha, if a person at the age of 16 or 15, he or she is going to the dealer's counter, medicine counter for analgesic, the person is not going to give him the analgesic?
No, not at all, sir. Not at all. We have considered very mature population because first of all, I have to make the respondent to make the difference between this OTC analgesic medicine and the prescribed medicine. because you can find the prescribed medicines also. Now, if a respondent is not very aware about what is the OTC medicine and what is the normal medicine.
So in your recommendation, you have pointed out that these brands should go for more and more awareness program. So do you think that these brands are not going for the more and more awareness program?
Obviously, the brands should
they are going, just because of that. There is a awareness among the people, even though the doctors are not prescribing, they are going for this product.
Yes, sir.
So how you can recommend that they should go for more awareness program? That's what I mean to say, that you have to be very, very specific in your recommendation also. What kind of awareness program? See, there is a general perception that if pain can be there for a different part, and awareness should be there that if you are having a pain, like for this particular part of the body, you should go for this product, this medicine, or this OTC medicine. And if you are having a pain for this part of the body, you should go for this. Like this, if you are coming out with the awareness, you can publish a good paper in a good journal. Are you getting? General awareness is already existing. General awareness is already existing in the market, and more or less people are aware that if this is the issue, I will go for this particular medicine. So there is again a specific awareness which is required, that if you are having a pain in your legs, or if in your hand, in your stomach, so what kind of medicine is right for that very part of the body? Okay? Are you getting my point?
Yes.
So this is something you need to focus, because you have already collected the data. The only thing which is lacking is that you are not able to analyze that data with reference to the industry and the scenario in which you have collected the data or the information. Okay? You have already analyzed. The only thing is that you have to reveal certain thing which is not being revealed or done in Indian context earlier. Now, again, in your gap, you have pointed out that nothing has been, limited studies have been identified on the consumer behavior for the allopathic over the counter medicine for the analgesic segment in the Indian context. I don't think so. A lot of work has been done in this particular field, and number of the PhD theses are available. So this is something which is need to be focused, that what exactly they have not covered. Again, it's a very general statement. What exactly they have not covered, that you should write. Okay? So when you are again publishing a paper, you have to go for it. Please.
Sir,
you want to say something?
Yes. I have two things, sir. Sir, first of all, thank you. You have pinpointed each and everything. Regarding the awareness program, what I have described in the thesis, there was a shortage of the time. I have missed that one in discussion. Sir, I want to make the awareness regarding the patient awareness program by the companies, by the pharmaceutical companies, because the intention was that if the patient is not aware for which disease or for the which pain or for the which problem he or she wants to purchase that medicine, and what are the side effects also, they have to know. For example, I have a pain, I am consuming the n number of paracetamol. So even the paracetamol also have some side effects. So the awareness should be the patients regarding the disease area and regarding the usage of the medicines also. Sir, my intention to tell regarding the patient awareness as part of the disease, as part of the users of the medicine. So this awareness should
now, Aniruddha, what I suggest you,
sir,
a good work can be done in this field, because the whole scenario has been changed due to the internet or the Google Baba, which is available nowadays in the hands of every individual. That now people are checking their issues or the problem with the Google search engine, and they are getting themselves recommended or prescribed a medicine through the Google. Now, see, there is a huge market which is coming out. As a result, in future, if you really want to go for the expansion of your work, you can incorporate or include a study of internet recommendation, which is available to easily to all the respondent, to all the patients. And especially you will find in the case of the OTC, on the basis of their symptoms, they are purchasing the product through the, as per the suggestion or the recommendation of the Google search engine. So this extension can be again fruitful for you for publishing your paper, that how these OTC products are being affected or influenced by the internet. Are you getting my point?
Yes, yes.
This
yes,
can be
yes.
a good work, which
Yes,
can
sir.
be an extension of your existing or the present work.
Exactly, sir. You have rightly told, because now Google is deprofessionalizing the profession. Because prior, what you used to do is to go to the doctor and sir, this is the problem we have faced. But now the people are so much aware that before going to the doctor, they are searching that I am having this problem. So what type of disease we are facing? So sir, this is a very, very vital point what you have told. And sir, if I got the opportunity to do the postdoctoral work, so I will remember your points forever.
Then it's not necessary that you can go for the postdoctoral work. Even you can go for the because you are there already in the industry. I know, I can very well understand that you don't have the time to go for the postdoctoral work. But in any case, if you are able to incorporate these things, you can publish a good paper with your supervisors.
Right. So this is a very vital point, sir. I will definitely consider.
This is what I want to share with you, and suggest you to go for your further extension of your research work. And you have done a good work. I must appreciate you that it's an exhaustive work which you have done, and you have analysis part is being taken care by you in a very systematic manner. The only thing is that you need to come out with more and more inferences that you can do in future also. And once again, I congratulate you for a good work. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Dr. S.K. Dubey and Dr. Manoj Mishra, thank you very much. You have given your very insightful kind of observations and findings, after a deep study of his thesis. And thank you very much for sparing your valuable time, not only to go through that, but also giving, your findings and also advice, not only to Mr. Aniruddha Bhowmick, but also to all of our PhD scholars and also our PhD supervisors. Because the learning has to be there. In my view, I think our PhD supervisors also have to learn, because it's, after all, no affront to them or no offense to them. I believe that every one of us have to be a lifelong learner.
Exactly.
Yeah, whether PhD or not, how many papers you have written, but every day and every opportunity like this is an opportunity for learning. Every occasion like this, thank you very much to both of you. We really appreciate your time and efforts into that. So thank you very much, sir. In fact, as a matter of fact, we are also very selective. I should not say that so openly with regard to the choice of our examiners, because what we believe is doing is one thing, but ultimately when they just stamp of evaluation, when the stamp comes from distinguished researchers and professionals like you, like Dr. Dubey and Dr. Mishra, that makes a difference ultimately. Like whatever you call, something like that they call ISA stamp or FSSA stamp, ultimately I think that stamp, it comes from, a distinguished person like you. Ultimately, that is the quality of the PhD. So that is where we are very, very careful in choosing our examiners. And thank you very much. And with your permission, can we sort of, if we say that if your evaluation is complete, now we can throw it open to our other the professors and other researchers.
Sure.
Yes, we can do that, and we must congratulate
Yeah,
Mr. Bhowmick for having completed his PhD as well.
Yeah, so in fact, I think that was the word I was.
We have to wait for the other professor. That's why I'm not congratulating
I was
him.
waiting for that word from both the examiners because
Yes.
it is the prerogative of the examiners to pronounce
Exactly.
that and
We
say that
must
whether the
pronounce it.
evaluation is complete and whether
Yes.
it is successful.
Yes.
So while we complete the documentation,
It's a very long and rigorous process,
yeah,
and we must understand that, and
Yeah.
people await that. And
Yeah.
finally, to reach the milestone,
yeah.
congratulations are in place.
No, thank you so much.
Bhowmick.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Bhowmick.
I think that word of congratulations and appreciation, that makes a lot of difference. That means a lot, not only for the scholar but also to the university as a whole. Into that. So thank you very much. So now we look up to our other participants that are there. The first, I think we'll go with his supervisor, sort of Dr. Midnish Char, and then Dr. Pinaki Ranjan Bhattacharya. What are your comments? And still, even though it is over, still you can make your own comments, even though you're guided, like with regard to your kind of observations with regard to the kind of a thesis, and any suggestions still you can give. Because after all, we have guided him, and after that, you are also part of the evaluation. So, Dr. Jha, over to you.
Yes, sir. Yes. Thank you very much, sir. In fact, I'm extremely grateful to Professor Sujit Kumar sir and Professor Manoj Mishra sir, because your evaluation is the hallmark of the quality work which the scholar has done. He has really toiled hard to earn his thesis, and I've been with him for the last 5 years. It's a very long journey, and the rigor level was quite high. And last but not the least, respected VC sir, who has been always guiding throughout his half-yearly coursework presentations and giving his words of wisdom, because he has special interest in marketing, and he pointed out the basic things which are there in the environment. So extremely thankful to all of you. Hariharan sir also, Satyam Kishore sir also, my colleague Dr. Rajkumar sir also, for helping us in research and doing all the things. And congratulations to Aniruddha. That's all I want to say.
Dr. Pinaki Ranjan Bhattacharya. Sir, I think, we are unable to hear your voice, sir, I think. No, Dr. Bhattacharya, we are unable to hear. I think maybe there is some audibility problem.
No, sir.
Yeah, so we are unable to hear.
The best would be if you could write a few words in the chat and somebody could read that, because we are not going to hear him, it appears.
Yeah. So I think, so. Yeah. Oh, okay, Satya. Thank you very much. I think he's showing the
he needs
sign.
No, he's asking for 2 minutes.
2 minutes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Now I think we can hear him.
Yeah. No, maybe we can.
Meanwhile, we can go to others.
Yeah. Anybody else? Dr. Hariharan, Dr. Kishore.
Yeah. I'm Dr. Hariharan. First, let me congratulate Aniruddha for doing a very difficult job, and is a result of your perseverance. And let me tell you, when we are a researcher's hat, many times our own ignorance also get exposed. It is true with any researcher. Okay, and then how best you can cover up. So I think you have done it very well. I was going through my notes when you are making the pre-thesis presentation. I know I had given almost 20 points.
Yes,
or 20
I remember, sir.
So I could see that you have covered all those things. So that shows, yes, there are many shortcomings, but you have overcome it very well.
And I was really happy today, especially that yes, you have come out today with a very effective presentations, and then you also suggested so many things out of your findings. But yes, examiners are very correct that yes, these findings should be very well related to the specific issues, and then is further add to the value. So you must feel now that you are a person with enriched knowledge. Okay, so I must congratulate you and wish you all the best.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, Dr. Kishore.
Yes, first of all, many congratulations, Mr. Bhowmick.
Thank you, sir. Thank
You presented very well. It was very effective, very confident presentation, and with lots of clarity. Initially, it was taking some time, so rightly it was suggested that you should go towards the finding part and the conclusion part, and that you also did very nicely. It is a very very well earned PhD degree. We have seen how meticulously you have worked, and the journey has been long, but finally you have.
Yeah. So in fact, Dr. Pinakaranjan Bhattacharya, now we are able to hear you. So we look forward to your comments and observations. Yeah.
So can I complete?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, please. Yeah, sorry. Yeah. Sir, we are audible, sir. Just give us a minute, sir. Dr. Kishore is saying something, and after that, yeah.
Yeah. So.
Hello, am I audible now, sir?
Yeah. We are audible, sir. Just give us a minute, sir. Dr. Kishore is mentioning something. Let's complete.
1 minute. 1 minute. I just complete, and then you please come in. Yeah. So my hearty congratulations to you. Only 1 or 2 suggestions. Which one is already given.
Am I audible now, sir? Clearly.
You are clearly audible.
I think I should be giving. I mean, hello, sir. Can you hear me, sir?
आप 1 मिनट
Can you hear me, sir?
हेलो
Hello, can you, sir?
आप 1 मिनट रुकिए. एक मिनट रुकिए, रुक जाइए.
Hello.
Can somebody give a call?
Please,
a telephonic call.
Please complete. Then after that we'll just present.
Yeah.
Yeah, please complete.
No,
Can you hear me now?
Apart from.
Am I audible now, sir?
You are audible. In fact, maybe his audio is not working. Somebody can give him a telephonic call.
Am I audible, sir?
No, I think he's unable to kind of hear possibly.
Yes,
I think we are able to hear him.
Yeah.
Now, Dr. Kishore, please complete that. Please complete.
Yeah. So the findings must lead to inferences. It was very rightly said. One thing I'm always very much curious, and I want to. Every researcher must share in his thesis is that because the methodological part, when a researcher embarks upon his study, it becomes very, very unique, personal to him, and he finds his own ways and methods to handle his research problems. So there has to be a sort of methodological note as to what spatial insights he is bringing about on the table so far as the doing research itself is concerned. And that will help very much other researchers. So if we keep on these spatial, encounters with the research, because certain elements must be very, very special to you, which others may not have, encountered. If you share that, maybe it gives insight to the entire research community. So this is what is my general comment, not just to you, but to all the researchers. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dr. Kishore. Thank you very much. Dr. Pinakaranjan Bhattacharya, are you able to hear us?
So there is some network
No,
issue.
maybe I think somebody from our team must give the feedback to him that we are unable.
I have called him, sir. I have called him and told him.
Yeah, okay. Because he's saying something, but we are unable to hear. And he has logged in from both his laptop and also mobile, and we don't know. I think No, I also sent a chat message, but I think he has not seen that. Yeah.
Am I audible?
Yes, sir. You are audible, sir. You are audible. Please go ahead, sir.
Yeah. Am I audible, sir?
No, you are audible, Dr. Bhattacharya. Please go ahead. We are all.
Good afternoon to all of you, sir.
Yeah, good afternoon. We are all waiting to hear your
Good afternoon to all,
comments.
sir.
Yeah, please.
Good afternoon to all of you, sir.
आगे बोलिए.
Yeah, I think.
Hello, sir. Good afternoon to all of you.
Good afternoon. आगे बोलिए.
No, I think he's unable to hear
Hello.
us. Yeah, he is unable to hear us. Sort of. Yeah. So I think somebody that is in contact with him has to tell him. Let him say. Let him.
Hello.
Yeah. Okay.
The network issue on here.
Yeah. So I think with the due deference to Dr. Pinaki Ranjan Bhattacharya, and I think Mr. Aniruddha Bhowmick, you be able to communicate to him that we were waiting to listen to his valuable feedback or comments, but
Yes,
there seems to be some audibility problem in the sense that he's unable to hear us.
Yes, sir. Some network
Now
issue
he's
is
able
there,
to
so
say, but we are unable to kind of.
Yes.
He is unable to hear us. I think
Yes.
sort of that's where some issue seems to be there.
we will communicate, sir. We will
Yeah, communicate to him, and
Right.
please tell him our apologies that
Yes,
we also are unable to wait for a longer time because
Yes,
all the team has been waiting.
Yes.
So my hearty congratulations to you, Mr. Aniruddha Bhowmick.
Thank you,
So it's a great job done, and always the journey may not be easy. I think you have to go through a sometimes a difficult journey, but if you got to be successful, it has to be the persistence and kind of a patience. And we have seen in you both of them. And
Thank you.
I do kind of remember that our last pre-thesis presentation, yourself and your supervisor and co-supervisor, they were not happy. They said, हम इतने सारे efforts डाले थे. But what I believe is, if we don't measure the efforts in terms of the tons or the days or years, ultimately what somebody looks at is the outcome. Because cricketers they toil hard, they practice, they do so many things. Ultimately, it's winning the match. For winning the match is important, that is the outcomes. So there, from the pre-thesis presentation, you have come a long way, and certain important facets of that you have taken care, which were not there at that point of time. And that is something we really appreciate, like that shows, the kind of keenness, with which you have pursued that, because we can't get tired in the last mile, because sometimes we feel tired, and give up. We can't give up in the last mile, It's not a 110-meter dash, it's a relay race. In a relay race, I think it is important that all the hurdles, you have to go through that. You have to go through that, and you have to go through that successfully. That's where today, in fact, today the message has come loud and clear from both the examiners, sort of two aspects. In fact, day before yesterday also it has come out. The methodology is one part. That is something like, a necessary part out of that. Yeah. And the second part is, what are the new insights you are bringing? The meaning of research is coming out with something new. We should not lose track of it.
I'm thankful to all of you.
Yeah.
Thankful to you.
Yeah. So Dr. Bhattacharya, we are able to hear you.
We are control.
Yeah. Yeah. Sir, we are able to hear you, sir. We are looking forward to the kind of, the last word from you, Dr. Pinaki Ranjan Bhattacharya. In fact, he has helped the scholar a lot.
Time level button not listening. It's wrong sound system.
Yeah,
Sir,
I think,
and now would sir, 2 minutes.
yeah.
Thank
Yeah, I think these are the
So there's a network issues of there.
yeah, network or some technology glitches, I think,
Technical issues.
yeah, still the technology is not, foolproof and, issues are there. So with these few words, Dr. Barik and Dr. Ramana Bhattacharya, you want to say something or can we close it? Yeah. So can we?
Yeah, congratulations, Aniruddha Bhowmick. And I think we also learn from this discussion. So I think Honorable VC sir has told it is a learning from all of us because in our life we are really supervisor and also we were the PhD scholars. And from the PhD cells, we are thankful to our two of the external supervisor like Professor Sujit sir and Professor Manoj sir.
No, external examiners. They are
Yes, sir.
external
They are
examiners,
the
not
external
supervisors.
examiners, sir.
Yeah, examiners.
I rectified my.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are the external examiners for their
Yeah.
valuable
Sir.
input on this PhD. Once again, congratulations, Aniruddha ji. Congratulations to you.
Thank you, sir.
So thank you very much.
Yes,
it was
sir.
really a pleasure. Yeah, anything you want to say, Dr. Ramnaji?
Yes, sir. First of all, I will thank Dr. Manoj Mishra and Professor Dr. Sujit for giving the valuable inputs, for guiding us, for various other scholars. And thank you very much for your cooperation. And thank you very much, VC sir. And I will wish congratulations to Dr. Aniruddha Bhowmick for his hard work, the hard work he did and he succeeded. Also, I'll thank Dr. Midani Shah and Dr. Pinaki for helping him to complete his journey. Thank you, everyone.
Yeah. So no, thank you very much. Sort of my only parting advice to Mr. Aniruddha Bhowmick is, while it's a landmark, it is a new journey.
Right.
So, in fact, the examiners, what they pointed out was, they said, you need not embark on a postdoctoral work or one more PhD. I think, and number one, whatever thesis that you have, if some possibilities are there, how you can make it better. Some more insight if you can get into that. Because your PhD thesis document, it will last for a long time. And this is something, it will go to Shodh Ganga, it will be read, it will be studied, it will be cited by a number of scholars. It should be worthy of citing. In fact, people say that PhD thesis is not a document just for awarding PhD degree. It has to go beyond. The researchers after that, they must be able to cite your thesis. It must be a thesis good enough that is citable. I think that is where we can take pride. While degree will come, degree has got some value into that. I'm not, diluting the value of that. But your pride and our pride of the university will be, how many people will cite your thesis for their further work, or how many people will take it as a springboard for doing further work. And maybe you must write some more articles, taking the kind of a guidance from your supervisor and co-supervisor, or even otherwise also. From out of this, I think that is what, if you can do that, that will be great. Then you are doing a lot of kind of a service to the kind of field of management and society by itself. Okay, thank you very much. And I think we'll take leave of you.
Sir, I have sent the evaluation sheet.
Wonderful, sir. Wonderful.
By
wonderful.
mail to the university.
Yeah. So Dr. Dubey also, I think, if maybe I think he has left, we can request him to send through email, and we can set up a process on the basis of that. So thank you very much, Dr. Mishra ji. Special thanks to you. Understanding, your situation still, I think you have done, you have not only done justice, you have done so much of a diligence, which you do, anytime. Always you do that, I think we have seen evidence of that. So thank you very much. And it's because of this kind of passionate examiners that are there, we are able to continue and do a quality research, Today, all over the country, a PhD from ICFA University, Jharkhand, from a remote place, it is valued today.
Very true, very true.
Yeah, in the last few years, people are sort of looking for this. So much for the 2020 batch, Dr. Mishra, I can tell you that the best of the response we got was in 2020 batch.
Very true.
This for the first time from Jammu and Kashmir also we got sort of scholars.
Oh, excellent, excellent.
Yeah, he's the CEO of Jammu and Kashmir Bank. Earlier, he was the executive vice president in HDFC Bank. And the profile of people we got this time has been, outstanding. And that has come not because of publicity, not because of advertisement campaign, but with the quality of the research and quality of our scholars and quality of our examiners. The way examiners have, done the diligence and certified it. I think that is the last stage. Just like, when your product is kind of, accepted, whether it is a car or whether it is air conditioner, or whether it is aeroplane, the person that is testing it and passing it, he is the most critical person. People trust him. And when Dr. Mishra and Dr. Dubey say that, then they give a quality to the said, yes, it is a real quality. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, sir.
I wish you sort of a good health and sort of, thank you very much and all of it.
Thank you, sir.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.